Hey everyone, I'm Nay, and this is set 71829, Lloyd's Green Forest Dragon, from the first wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3. This set contains 128 pieces, 2 minifigures, and this little baby dragon, and retails for $17.99 in the UK. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out so much, as it supports me and gets YouTube to show my videos to you more often. As for now, let's get into the review. Here's the focus of the set, being the larger of the two dragons, and it's actually one of my favourites in a long time, since it's a nice small size and it's cheap too. I'll start with the wings, which have these nice little gold talons, which I think goes really well with the dark green. Throughout the wings, they look almost bony, and they're very big, which I think is really cool, since that's how they would look if they were real. And I like the use of the Teen Ryu mold for the head, like the one they use in Tournament Temple City. Unfortunately, however, it does still have this gap underneath, which is a bit of a letdown, and they use the talon part for the toes, which have quite the range of motion, and they're able to spin a full 360, which is cool. And this flag up here has a bit of spinning capability, and it can move up and down too. The ankles are on the ball joints, meaning they can do a full 360, and they can move up and down, but unfortunately the thigh has a ratchet joint, so it's only capable of moving up and down sideways. I love the use of dark blue, it mixes well with the dark green, the green and the trans green, and the tail and neck are able to spin. I love the use of this piece here, which gives it a nice thickness, especially with its limited piece counts, and I like the use of the Nexo Knight shield piece on the leg and on the body. Onto the tail, it has a wide range of motion since they're on ball joints, and I love the use of Lloyd's sword piece in gold, which was used in his Titan mech as well. I like how they've made the reins for the dragon, which I think is very reminiscent of the pilot dragons. However, with the saddle being so, you'd think they'd be brown, but I do think it is still really nice looking. As for the figures, we'll start with the main one, Lloyd. Here we have Lloyd. I'll talk further in a moment, however I do quite like this one. It looks very nice and the parts do work really well together. However, for some reason, rather than use this season's Lloyd figure, they've made a sort of Frankenstein with his previous Dragons Rising parts. Yeah, so as you can see here, he uses the same parts, being the hood from Season 2, torso and legs from Season 1, and the tournament shoulder pads. Looking on underneath, he has quite a miserable expression, which I think does make quite a lot of sense considering the visions and nightmares he's been having, compared to his much more smiling expressions in the earlier seasons. On the back, he has a mask piece with a green energy coming off of his eyes, which they have been using for the ninja throughout Dragons Rising, and they are unique to each ninja, but I do also think they're quite reminiscent of the Prime Empire ones too. On his torso, he's got gold detailing, and throughout has a mix of dark, regular, and light greens. And it also has a hint of gold throughout it as well too. The hands are dark green, and the legs have like little dark green detailings as well. Onto his back, he has the symbol of the Source Dragons, which is in a nice gold colour, and it has these cool little patterns coming off it, like tentacles almost. Up next, we have the Dragonian Scout. I must say, I quite like this wave of army figures, and personally, they're the second best after the Wolf Mask Warriors. He has this really cool new shoulder piece, and is predominantly red, which I don't think they've actually done before, apart from the Vermilion Warriors, and he even has this cool giant battle axe. He has this cool new armor piece for this army, and it has spikes on the shoulder pads as well. And up here, it's almost like a jaw, and it goes all the way around the head, and it also has 2 studs on the back as well. He has a nice silver body armor type design, and he has a rope or belt around his waist in this nice brown colour. The design here continues down to the legs, and it has some buttons throughout it, and it has a very sharp look to it. It has scales coming throughout the armor, and it has some talons on the feet, which I think looks really nice. On top of his head, he has this tan mohawk, which is really cool, and on his head he has more scales and some protruding teeth. He has orange eyes and a very dragon-looking nose, and on the bottom of his mouth it's tan. Moving on to the back, the scales are more prominent on the back of his head, and he still has the silver body armor continuing around on the back of his torso. Finally, he comes with this cool big battle axe which looks very nice. It's just grey and silver, and I've only just found this out now, but this is how you do double-sided axes. I'd always put one on upside down, which I think is quite funny. So I do think it is quite cool, and I like the use of this arrow piece to hold them. Finally, we have the baby dragon. This little dragon is really cute, and I really like his design too. It's really vibrant, a lot like the earlier dragons, and overall it is a bit simplistic, but it's just enough considering the size of it. Unfortunately, it does reuse the Ryu mold from 2023, but I do think it'd be really nice if they end up making lots of these in a range of colours to sort of build a baby dragon army, which I think would be really funny. Though it's new, it still uses the baby Ryu mold, however it is in yellow this time and has these very dark brown scales throughout. It's on all fours and it's very small, along with having some tiny wings which are cute. On the top, it's very spiky, and it has these nice little eyes, which are also dark brown. It has this little beak, and also has these 4 anti-studs under the feet. Overall, for such a nice and cheap dragon, I think this is worth the £18 price tag, and would definitely recommend it. It's one of my favourite dragons they've done in a long time. It's so simple but does so much, and it looks really good overall. However, that is my opinion, so make sure to leave yours in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed, please make sure to like the video, and if you're new, consider subscribing, since it will really help me out along with the channel. That's all I have to say for now, so thanks for watching, I do hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.